What happens when the universe's most versatile hero gets thrown into the most brutal setting ever conceived? Ben Tennyson and his arsenal of alien transformations versus the endless nightmare of Warhammer 40K. This isn't your typical Saturday morning cartoon crossover. This is survival in a galaxy where hope is heresy and mercy gets you executed. Today I'm ranking each of Ben's most powerful aliens on how they'd fare in the grim darkness of the far future. We're talking dominates, thrives, survives, struggles, and straight up dead. Let's kick things off with Heatblast, and I'm putting him solidly in survives. Now Heatblast might seem like a walking target in a universe obsessed with purging mutants, but hear me out. The Salamander's Space Marine chapter would see him as a living embodiment of their fire worship. These guys literally brand themselves with heated metal and see flames as sacred. Heatblast's pyrokinetic abilities and molten rock physiology would make him invaluable in siege warfare. He could melt through fortress walls, incinerate heretic strongholds, and burn out Nurgle's plague infestations without breaking a sweat. The problem is his appearance. A walking magma man screams Xenos mutation to Imperial authorities. He'd need to stay embedded with the salamanders or risk getting blasted by nervous guardsmen who shoot first and ask questions never. His fire immunity makes him perfect for battling chaos cultists hiding in industrial complexes, but one wrong move around the Inquisition and he's getting hit with enough plasma fire to glass a city block. 4 Arms lands and thrives, and this one's almost too perfect. The Imperium loves its brutal melee combat, and 4 Arms brings exactly that. Standing 8 feet tall with incredible strength and 4 massive fists, he'd fit right into an Ogryn unit, or even catch the attention of Space Marine recruitment. His enhanced durability and natural combat instincts would make him a terror on the battlefield. Picture 4 Arms, leading Astra Militarum shock troops against orc hordes, using pure physical might to tear through green skin mobs. The Imperium respects strength above all else, and 4 Arms delivers that in spades. He'd probably end up as a sanctioned abhuman, officially recognized for his combat value. The only real threat would be Chaos Corruption trying to tempt him with even greater strength, but 4 Arms seems too straightforward for the subtle whispers of the Dark Gods. XLR8 gets a solid Thrives rating because speed is survival in 40k. This Kineceleran's incredible velocity would make him perfect for reconnaissance missions behind enemy lines. He could outrun orc buggies, dodge Tau pulse rifle fire, and relay critical intelligence faster than any Vox transmission. The Imperium would probably attach him to elite units like the Catachan Jungle Fighters or Cadian Shock Troops as a scout. His ability to strike fast and disappear makes him ideal for sabotage operations against Chaos Cultists or Genestealer cults. The real beauty is that XLR8 doesn't look overtly alien compared to some of Ben's other forms. Sure, he's blue with weird feet, but in a galaxy full of diverse human mutations, he might just pass for an enhanced abhuman. He'd hate the constant warfare and brutality, but his speed gives him the ultimate escape option when things get too intense. If you're enjoying this breakdown so far, smash that like button, because we're just getting started with some of the heavy hitters. Diamondhead absolutely dominates this nightmare galaxy. A silicon-based lifeform with crystalline armor and the ability to regenerate from fragments is basically unstoppable in 40k terms. His diamond projectiles could punch through Space Marine power armor, and his ability to create crystal structures would revolutionize Imperial fortifications. The Adeptus Mechanicus would be fascinated by his unique physiology, probably trying to study him while he single-handedly holds off Tyrannid swarms. Diamondhead's regeneration means even if he gets blown apart by heavy weapons, he can pull himself back together. The Imperium would either worship him as a living saint or try to weaponize him, but either way, they'd want him on their side. Chaos Corruption would have a hard time affecting a being made of living crystal, and his combat effectiveness scales up with the threats he faces. Against Orc Wars, he'd create massive crystal barriers. Against Chaos Space Marines, he'd impale them with diamond spikes. This is the kind of alien form that could turn the tide of entire campaigns. Grey Matter faces a tragic dead rating, and it breaks my heart because this little guy is brilliant. His enhanced intelligence and problem-solving abilities would be incredible assets in any other universe. In 40K, being a tiny grey alien with a massive brain makes you target number 1 for xenophobic purges. The moment any Imperial citizen sees Grey Matter, they're screaming about alien infiltrators and calling for the nearest commissar. His size means he can't fight back against basic human soldiers, let alone space marines or chaos cultists. Even if he tried to hide and use his intelligence to help from the shadows, the Inquisition would eventually track him down. Knowledge is power in the Imperium, but unsanctioned knowledge is heresy. Grey Matter's advanced understanding of technology and science would mark him as a dangerous heretic the moment he opened his mouth. It's a waste of incredible potential, but 40,000 doesn't reward intelligence unless it comes wrapped in fanatical devotion to the Emperor. Ghostfreak slides into the struggles category because he's walking a tightrope between usefulness and corruption. His intangibility and possession abilities would make him invaluable for infiltration missions against chaos cults or Genestealer infestations. Imagine Ghostfreak phasing through fortress walls to eliminate enemy leaders or possessing heretics to turn them against their own forces. The problem is that his powers are dangerously close to warp-based psyker abilities. The Imperium barely tolerates sanctioned psykers, and an entity that can possess people and phase through solid matter screams demon to anyone with half a brain. The Inquisition would hunt him relentlessly, convinced he's some new form of chaos entity. Even worse, prolonged exposure to the warp-tainted atmosphere of 40K might actually corrupt Ghostfreak's ectoplasmic form. He'd be constantly fighting a two-front war against external enemies and internal corruption, never knowing if the next possession might leave him open to demonic influence. Upgrade earns a definitive dead rating because he represents everything the Imperium fears most about artificial intelligence. This mechamorph's ability to merge with and enhance technology would send the Adeptus Mechanicus into absolute hysteria. They've spent 10,000 years following strict protocols about machine spirits and acceptable technology. Upgrade's very existence violates every core belief they hold sacred. The moment he tries to interface with Imperial equipment, tech priests would be calling for immediate purification by fire. His liquid metal form and obvious artificial intelligence mark him as an abominable intelligence, the kind of thinking machine that nearly destroyed humanity during the dark age of technology. Even if Upgrade tried to help by enhancing weapons or vehicles, the Imperium would see it as corruption of sacred machinery. They'd probably virus bomb an entire planet just to make sure they eliminated every trace of his influence. Stinkfly buzzes into the Thrives category because sometimes the most unexpected aliens find their niche. His flight capabilities and toxic gas production would make him perfect for dealing with Hive City underbelly threats. The Imperium deals with plenty of disgusting xenos and mutant creatures, so one more bug-like abhuman wouldn't raise too many eyebrows. Stinkfly's ability to navigate tight spaces and produce various chemical compounds would be invaluable for pest control in Hive cities. He could clear out Genestealer infestations from ventilation systems or gas out cultist hideouts without risking human troops. The real advantage is that he looks gross enough that most Imperial citizens would just assume he's some kind of sanctioned cleanup crew. His flight speed lets him stay mobile in urban environments, and his chemical arsenal gives him versatility against different enemy types. Wildmutt lands squarely in Survive's territory as a tracker and hunter extraordinaire. This Vulpimancer's enhanced senses and predatory instincts would make him invaluable for hunting down heretics and xenos in hostile environments. Imperial Guard regiments would love having a creature that can track enemies across any terrain and detect threats that normal human senses would miss. The challenge is his obviously alien appearance and complete lack of eyes. Most Imperial citizens would panic at the sight of him, but military commanders would quickly recognize his value. He'd probably end up assigned to special operations units or inquisitorial retinues that deal with the worst threats to humanity. His biggest weakness is his inability to communicate effectively with baseline humans, which could lead to dangerous misunderstandings in combat situations. Ripjaws gets a rough dead rating, and the reason is simple. This pistis volan might be a terror in Earth's oceans, but space is mostly empty void with very little water. Even on worlds with oceans, Imperial naval doctrine focuses on void warfare and orbital bombardment rather than underwater combat. Ripjaws needs constant moisture to maintain his abilities, and most 40,000 battlefields are scorched wastelands or urban hellscapes. The few times he'd be useful, like clearing out underwater Genestealer nests or fighting chaos cultists in flooded hive sectors, wouldn't justify keeping him around. His shark-like appearance would immediately mark him as a dangerous Xenos to most Imperial forces. Unlike other aliens that could blend in or prove their worth quickly, Ripjaws would be seen as a mindless predator and gunned down before anyone realized he had intelligence. Cannonbolt rolls into the Thrives category because the Imperium loves simple, effective solutions. This Arburian Pelarota's ability to curl into an indestructible sphere and smash through enemy lines would make him perfect for siege warfare. Imperial commanders would use him as a living battering ram against fortified positions, launching him from Thunderhawk gunships to break through enemy defenses. His armored hide can withstand incredible punishment, making him ideal for frontal assaults where regular troops would get slaughtered. The beauty of Cannonbolt is his straightforward combat role. No complicated technology to offend the Mechanicus, no psychic powers to worry the Inquisition, just pure kinetic force applied where it's needed most. He'd probably end up attached to siege regiments or drop pod assault forces, rolling through orc fortifications and chaos strongholds alike. Wildvine creeps into the struggles tier because plant-based life in 40K tends to attract the wrong kind of attention. His ability to regenerate from root systems and control plant matter would be incredibly useful for establishing defensive positions and creating natural barriers. The problem is that rapid plant growth and biological manipulation look suspiciously like Nurgle's influence to paranoid Imperial forces. Any Inquisitor worth their rosette would assume Wildvine is some kind of demon or corrupted Xenos the moment they see him sprouting vines and regenerating limbs. Even if he proves his loyalty, he'd be under constant surveillance and suspicion. The irony is that his powers would be perfect for terraforming dead worlds and creating sustainable food sources for Imperial colonies, but the Imperium would rather starve than risk chaos corruption. Benwolf howls his way into Thrives because the Space Wolves would immediately adopt him as one of their own. This Loboan's enhanced senses, pack mentality, and natural hunting instincts align perfectly with Fenrisian culture. His sonic howl could disorient enemies and coordinate pack tactics, while his enhanced agility makes him perfect for hit-and-run warfare. The Space Wolves already embrace their wolf-like mutations and rituals, so Benwolf would fit right into their great companies. He'd probably become a legendary figure in their sagas, leading wolf packs across frozen battlefields and howling challenges at Chaos Space Marines. His biggest advantage is cultural acceptance. Where other alien forms would face suspicion, Benwolf would find a brotherhood that understands and values his predatory nature. Upchuck digests his way to a solid survives rating through sheer utility value. This gourmand's ability to consume any material and convert it into explosive projectiles would make him invaluable for demolition and waste disposal. Imperial forces generate massive amounts of debris and toxic waste that needs elimination, and Upchuck could literally eat their problems away. His multiple stomachs can process everything from scrap metal to biological waste, turning it into useful ammunition. The challenge is convincing Imperial authorities that a small alien creature eating everything in sight isn't a Tyranid infiltrator. Once they understand his capabilities, he'd probably get assigned to Engineering Corps or stationed at major industrial complexes where his consumption abilities help maintain equipment and eliminate hazardous materials. Ditto multiplies into the Thrives category because numbers matter in 40,000 warfare. This Splixon's ability to create multiple copies of himself would revolutionize Imperial tactics. Imagine having an entire squad that shares perfect coordination and tactical awareness. His clones could perform simultaneous operations across multiple fronts, gathering intelligence while maintaining defensive positions and conducting sabotage missions. The Imperial Guard operates on the principle that quantity has a quality all its own, and Ditto embodies that philosophy perfectly. Each clone retains full intelligence and combat capability, meaning he could literally be his own special forces unit. The only limitation is that injuring one clone affects all of them, but smart deployment and careful tactics would minimize that vulnerability. Guy focuses his way into Dominate's territory through sheer versatility and firepower. This Opticoid's numerous eyes can fire different types of energy beams, from freezing rays to explosive blasts to precise cutting lasers. He's essentially a walking weapons platform with 360-degree vision and the ability to engage multiple targets simultaneously. Imperial forces would see him as a living heavy weapons team that never needs ammunition resupply. His energy projection abilities could cut through vehicle armor, freeze charging enemies, or provide devastating covering fire for advancing troops. The psychological impact alone would be incredible. Enemy forces facing a creature that can fire energy beams in every direction while maintaining perfect situational awareness would break morale before the real fighting even started. Way Big stomps into the Dominates category because sometimes size really does matter. This Tokestar stands over 100 feet tall with strength proportional to his massive frame. In a universe where Titans and super heavy vehicles dominate major battlefields, Way Big could go toe-to-toe with Imperial Knights or even challenge smaller Titan classes. His cosmic ray beam attack could punch through void shields and heavy armor, while his sheer size lets him step on entire tank formations. The Imperium would either worship him as a walking cathedral of destruction or try to figure out how to mass produce him. Against Orc Gargants or Chaos Titans, Way Big would be humanity's answer to Xenos super weapons. His biggest advantage is that he's simply too valuable to eliminate, regardless of his alien origin. Alien X transcends all categories and lands firmly in Dominates, but with massive complications. This celestial sapien has reality warping powers that rival the Chaos Gods themselves. He could literally rewrite the laws of physics, eliminate entire enemy fleets with a thought, or restore devastated worlds to their former glory. The problem isn't his power level, but the political implications. In Ben's universe, Alien X requires agreement between multiple personalities to act, which creates dangerous delays in combat situations. More importantly, a being capable of rewriting reality would immediately attract attention from every major faction in the galaxy. The Chaos Gods would try to corrupt or eliminate him, the Emperor would want to control his power, and the Tyranids would see him as the ultimate biomass to consume. Swampfire burns and regenerates his way into thrives through perfect adaptation to 40K's hostile environments. This Methanosian's plant-based physiology lets him photosynthesize nutrients from any light source, while his methane production creates natural incendiary weapons. He can regenerate from almost any injury and even regrow from scattered plant matter, making him nearly impossible to permanently eliminate. Imperial forces would value his ability to survive in toxic environments and purge contaminated areas with controlled burns. His regeneration means he could serve as a frontline combatant without fear of permanent injury, while his fire abilities make him perfect for sterilizing Nurgle infestations or burning out Genestealer nests. Humongousaur grows into the Thrives category through adaptability and raw physical power. This Vaxasaurian can increase his size and strength as needed, scaling from baseline human size up to massive proportions. His enhanced durability and natural weapons make him effective against a wide range of enemies, from cultist rabble to armored vehicles. The Imperium would appreciate having a warrior who can adjust his capabilities to match the threat level, conserving resources while maintaining combat effectiveness. His dinosaur-like appearance might raise questions, but his obvious intelligence and combat prowess would quickly prove his worth to military commanders. Jetray soars into the Survives category as the ultimate reconnaissance asset. This aerophibian's ability to fly through space at faster than light speeds would revolutionize Imperial communications and intelligence gathering. He could carry messages between star systems faster than astropathic communication while conducting detailed surveillance of enemy positions. His neuroshock blasts provide decent offensive capability, though he'd mainly serve in a support role rather than frontline combat. The challenge is keeping him safe from Imperial Navy vessels that might mistake him for a hostile Xenos craft and open fire before identifying him as friendly. Big Chill phases into the struggles category because his appearance and abilities would constantly trigger heresy alarms. This Necrophrygian's moth-like appearance and ability to phase through solid matter would mark him as a potential demon or warp entity. His ice breath and intangibility make him incredibly effective in combat, but Imperial forces would struggle to accept something that looks like it crawled out of a nightmare. The Inquisition would probably classify him as a minor demon and attempt immediate banishment, regardless of his actual intentions or loyalties. Chromastone refracts his way to dominate through energy manipulation and crystalline durability. This crystal sapien can absorb any form of energy and redirect it as devastating laser beams. Against the energy weapons that dominate 40,000 battlefields, he'd be nearly invulnerable while growing stronger with each attack. His crystal body provides natural armor against physical attacks, and his ability to fly gives him tactical mobility. Imperial forces would see him as the perfect counter to Tau Pulse weapons, Eldar Shuriken catapults, and Chaos energy attacks. He could literally turn enemy firepower against them while maintaining defensive positions that regular troops couldn't hope to hold. Brainstorm sparks his way into dominates because electrical manipulation in 40K is absolutely broken. This cerebro crustacean's ability to generate and control electricity makes him a walking EMP weapon against the Imperium's most advanced technology. He could shut down entire Titan war machines, disable void shields with a thought, and fry the machine spirits in Space Marine power armor. His enhanced intelligence rivals that of tech priests, but unlike them, he doesn't need decades of ritual and prayer to interface with technology. Brainstorm could hack Imperial data systems, override security protocols, and turn enemy weapons against their wielders. The Adeptus Mechanicus would be torn between studying his abilities and declaring him a heretical abomination. Against Chaos forces, his electrical attacks would be devastating to demon engines and corrupted machinery. The only real threat would be getting close enough to more primitive enemies who rely on blades and brute force rather than technology. Lodestar magnetizes into the Thrives category through battlefield control and metal manipulation. This Beosavortian's magnetic powers would make him invaluable in a galaxy where everything from bolter rounds to Titan weapons contains metal components. He could deflect incoming fire, crush enemy vehicles by compacting their metal frames, and even pull Space Marine power armor apart at the joints. Imperial Guard regiments would use him to clear minefields by magnetically detecting buried explosives and disarming them from a safe distance. His ability to fly using magnetic levitation gives him excellent battlefield mobility, while his metal manipulation lets him create improvised weapons and barriers from battlefield debris. The Imperium would probably classify him as a sanctioned psyker with unusual manifestation patterns, giving him official protection while putting him to work on the front lines. So there you have it, the complete breakdown of Ben's alien arsenal versus the nightmare that is Warhammer 40K. From the reality warping godhood of Alien X to the tragic fate awaiting grey matter, we've seen how even the most versatile hero in animation would struggle in the grim darkness of the far future. The dominators like Diamondhead, Way Big, and Chromastone would reshape entire battlefields and become legends whispered in Imperial archives. The survivors like Heatblast and Wildmutt would carve out brutal niches in humanity's endless war machine, but for every success story, there's a grey matter, or Ripjaws, who'd face immediate execution just for existing.